Has the Maple Leafs luck finally run out? Is Auston Matthews the GOAT in terms of Maple Leafs of all time? And how can the Leafs bounce back from this disappointing loss? Welcome back to Leafs Digest. My name is Darius Domingues. And guys, before we get any further in the video, we have noticed that about 80% of you are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to support myself and the other content creators on the channel, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Toronto Maple Leafs. And before we get any further into the video, we got to talk about the game against the New York Rangers. We knew the luck was going to run out at some point, all right? But has the luck completely run out, especially in this game against the New York Rangers? The last time the Leafs played the Rangers, they put on a show. They played really well, and the Rangers had no response. And I knew something had to give, and we know the Leafs have been playing really well with a depleted decor, and obviously a lot of the goalies in and out. It seems like a different goalie's been starting almost every game for the Leafs now. Although Martin Jones has looked good, we will get into that. But the bottom line is an extremely unlucky night, and Jones and the team did deserve better. And they head into Buffalo on Thursday to face a Buffalo Sabres team who is really struggling. So that could be good for the Leafs to get right back on track there. And as we take a look here too, Toronto's 9-game point streak, which is pretty impressive, 6-0-3 in the last 9, ends with a weird 5-2 loss to the Rangers. Very unlucky game. It is their first regulation loss since November 25th in Pittsburgh, which was, coming off of the Sweden trip, as well as that weird game in Chicago that they lost as well. So the Leafs have been playing some pretty good hockey, some pretty lucky hockey as well, but you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. So that's just the way the sport goes sometimes, But I would like to see them bounce back against Buffalo in a couple days. Obviously, not what you were looking for against the New York Rangers. New York Rangers are a good team. You want the Leafs to show out, but the Rangers didn't even score half their goals. Half of them went off Leaf players and in the net. Just a weird, unfortunate game. But something I did want to talk about in terms of luck and some lineup changes from Sheldon Keefe. All right, the forwards remain relatively untouched. Obviously, Reeves is now on the IR. And I do really like that fourth line of Bobby McMann, David Kampf, and Noah Gregor. I thought that's been really good. But all eyes on defense and goalies in this one. Riley Brody, don't fix what ain't broke. So keep those two together. They played really well during the COVID season. So why would you split them up for the time being unless you acquire somebody else? McCabe and Liljegren, I think that's a decent pairing as well. I really like the way McCabe's been playing this year. He's really shown out. And Liljegren, obviously coming off of injury. You can't expect too much. He's got to find his footing still. So hopefully in the next game or two, he's back to normal. And then I thought this was interesting. Lagesson takes a step back onto the third pairing with Timmins as well, trying to get Timmins some more reps this season as well. But Simone Benoit not playing in this game. I've been a big fan of his so far this season. I'm not saying he would have helped because it was just an unfortunate and unlucky game. But nice that they're, that you can give guys rest here and there because everyone is stepping up. That is quite nice. But like I said, Simone Benoit, one of my favorite Leafs so far this season. He has been awesome, just pushing guys around, pushing guys out from the front of the net. They needed more of a physical presence, the Leafs did this year for sure, and he's been helping with that. One thing too, before this game, finally we got to talk about it, is John Tavares finally presented the 1,000 point golden stick by none other but Daryl Sittler, another 1,000-point getter and Maple Leafs alumni and legend. He was there with his whole family. Obviously, this happened last week, but I guess the Leafs gave him a chance to get his family organized so everyone could be there and they could do it right. They did their due diligence. They didn't want to rush it. A lot of people were complaining that it should have been last week. Just do it right and make sure it looks great. And obviously here, you can tell in the photo, everyone's very happy, and it's awesome that he gets to have his sons there for that and presented with the stick by Daryl Sittler as well, as I mentioned. Just awesome for the captain. Very happy for John Tavares. So good for him. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, another bright spot before we get to an even brighter spot in Auston Matthews. I want to have a whole segment for Auston Matthews, all right? Martin Jones has looked really good as well this year, okay? Small sample size for sure, but he sure looks calm, and I think that's what the Leafs have been missing in terms of, like Joseph Woll has looked good and very calm. His poise, actually, for how young he is and how little NHL experience he has, is very impressive. Samsonov, on the other hand, it kind of reminds me of watching Curtis Joseph where you're just like, ugh, biting your nails the whole time. You're like, what's going to happen next? And I hate that feeling. I like just having a steady goaltender who you are very confident in. I miss that. I miss that as a Leafs fan. So it is nice that Martin Jones kind of has that demeanor. Obviously, he's been there before. He's been to the Stanley Cup final. I think he's won a World Junior Championship as well. He's played in some big games. So he has that demeanor, that poise as well. So he's looked calm, obviously tonight, unlucky, like I mentioned, but he's looked good. He's looked good, and I think that's very encouraging for the Leafs. I'm not sure what you do with your goaltender situation once Joseph Woll comes back, but if it was up to me and the salary cap didn't exist, it's Joseph Woll and Martin Jones right now. He is playing fantastic. But another thing to note with the Boston Bruins losing tonight, it's not all bad in Leafs land. The Leafs are 6 points back with a game in hand, which is not a bad position to be in still, even after a loss. The Leafs have been playing some good hockey, and to be only 6 points back with a game in hand on first place, can't really complain heading into Christmas. That's awesome, and the Leafs have been playing some great hockey. I think we can all agree that that they have been playing and everyone's been stepping up. I think it's really nice to see, because we haven't seen that in past years, especially with younger guys coming in and guys trying to fill roles. They just kind of slot in, they don't do anything, but everyone seems to be playing with somewhat of a purpose heading into Christmas, which is very nice to see. But enough with the entire team. I wanted to have a segment just dedicated to the superstar Auston Matthews. This guy is a beast. He might be the MVP of not only the season, but of the Leafs franchise. Okay, he's gonna smash records, and I will save all of that for a separate video. I want to do a separate video on this guy because he is unbelievable. But we have to touch on some stats, all right, from Auston Matthews very quickly. Auston Matthews casually has 11 goals in his last 7 games. That's like something out of Be a Pro in NHL GM mode. I mean, take a look. 11 goals in his last 7 games. This guy is unbelievable. This guy is on absolute fire, and I think he set a Leafs record as well. Yes, sorry, not a record, but he becomes the 5th Leaf in franchise history to record at least 240 even strength goals. That is absurd. He's going to smash Sundin's record in his sleep, and I think that's just unbelievable. This guy is definitely, in terms of skill, we always talk about it. There's this whole debate online where, is Connor McDavid the best hockey player ever in terms of skill? Wayne Gretzky holds all the records, but in terms of skill and speed and all that good stuff, is Connor McDavid the best? Auston Matthews, in terms of skill, is the best Maple Leaf ever. All right. He's just missing a few things: a Stanley Cup and some memorable playoff moments of his own, all right? And hopefully we get that this spring. But like I said, Auston Matthews, I'd rather devote an entire video to him in terms of the GOAT conversation, because this guy is on a different planet right now. I think he's almost set a Leafs record, almost eclipsing Matt Sundin for the most multi-goal games in franchise history in one season as well. And he's going to smash that. It seems like every game he scores 2 goals. I mean, 11 goals in 7 games at the NHL level. He's in beast mode right now. He's on a different level. And like I said, I just want to, I'm going to give him his flowers in a separate video. But let me know what you think of the Leafs play so far this season. They have been impressive, and they now sit 2nd in the Atlantic Division, which is very nice. Obviously, unlucky game here with the New York Rangers in town. But let me know what you think of their play so far this season, how Auston Matthews has been doing, and if their luck is going to run out. I think they've been playing, above their potential, above their heads a little bit. So could they come down to earth? This could be the time that it happens. Hopefully not. I thought they've been playing very well, and they've been playing very, a lot of system hockey and playing for each other. I think that's the biggest thing that they haven't done in the past. They've been playing for each other. Somebody gets hit, somebody fights, and they're playing more aggressive and physically. We haven't seen that in the past. So more of that from the Leafs. But let me know what you think in the comments section, and stay tuned for another video tomorrow.